What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into DCeased, War of the Undead Gods, issue number 2, as Tom Taylor continues on our story. I am hugely excited for this one because, as you can tell on the front cover, we have Kyle freaking Rayner, one of my favorite Green Lanterns, finally getting some highlight, even if it is in an Elseworld story. But we last left off with our undead Darkseid making his assault across the galaxy. Before we do get into this issue, I do want to apologize. I didn't put out a lot of content last week, and usually day of release of comics, I have my videos up pretty early. You know, I've been staying up for the last 2 years. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, I am up till 4 or 5 a.m. doing videos, and I gotta be honest, it burned me out a little bit. So there is a possibility that we are going to be moving these videos that usually we release in the morning to later in the afternoon. I have always prided myself on being the first person to release these videos and getting as many comics released and out there to you guys as quickly as possible. But it definitely has taken its toll. And so I believe moving forward, the best thing for me and for the channel is to just release these videos a little bit later in the day. That way I can actually get some sleep on those nights. And I know you guys are gonna understand. Thank you guys for being the amazing fans that you are, because I plan on keeping this channel going for as long as I am able to use my voice. And none of that would be possible without you guys. Now, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so our story starts us off with Big Barda. Her and Miracle Man, they are currently making their way back to New Genesis. See, Big Barda, she was the first to be cured of the anti-life virus. Someone who lost so much time. It has been 5 years since she saw her son. And while she is a little bit concerned that her son is going to be angry with her, the truth is, she was more or less dead for the last 5 years. But when the two gods stepped through the boom tube, ready to greet their son in paradise, what they found was the home of the new gods was no longer a paradise. The celestial city had fallen. Left behind in all of the wreckage was one portal, a dark portal. Not really sure where it leads. Big Barda is more than willing to step through if her son is on the other side. This could have very easily been the end of Big Barda. That is, of course, until death. Until the Black Racer shows up on scene. As the Black Racer grabs hold of her, stops her from going through the portal, Miracle Man asks the Black Racer what the heck happened here and what is that portal. He lets them know that this was Darkseid. And though they believe Darkseid to be dead, he lets them know that this was the unliving Darkseid. And all the gods that were not killed, they are now agents of the anti-life virus. The mother boxes have all been infected, and so now the dead and the unliving, they can pass through doom tubes. The only question now, where do these doom tubes land? Where is the unliving Darkseid? And that is what takes us to the first planet that Darkseid and his undead gods attack. Home to 7 billion people, Korugar is in flames. While they had highly trained soldiers, some very advanced weaponry, they were simply no match in the eyes of these deities. Controlled by the anti-life, their fate is inevitable, but they were able to get out a distress beacon, one that is heard across the entire sector of space. This is when it reaches Warworld, and at the very heart of it, we have our yellow lantern, Sinestro. As they hear the call for help, they can hear the fear in their voices. The Yellow Lantern Corps, they prepare for their attack, refusing to let his planet die. Sinestro gathers his forces and they go to face off against Darkseid. That is what takes us to Earth 2. We have Superman, who is currently having a conversation with Guy Gardner. This conversation is about Brainiac, because Brainiac has found his way to Earth 2, has found his way to Superman. Brainiac just recently had an encounter with Darkseid, barely able to escape with his life, losing half of his freaking body in the encounter. As a show of good faith, he gives the city of Kandor to Superman, the last city of Krypton, because the truth is, while Brainiac may be a supervillain, at the end of the day his job is to collect knowledge. If Darkseid and his undead army, if they wipe out the whole galaxy, that means everything stops. There is no more knowledge. There is nothing more for Brainiac to collect. This would mean the end of everything. And while Guy Gardner is very skeptical on the universe itself ending, Brainiac does point out that he is a 9th level intelligence, an intelligence scale that Brainiac himself has created. Guy Gardner, kind of feeling his ego threatened here, talks about how he is an 11 on his own scale that only goes up to 6. But Superman knows, better than anybody, just how devastating and how deadly the anti-life can be. He was gone for 5 years. He knows they are facing the end of all life. And if it means stopping this anti-life virus, then teaming up with Brainiac is exactly what he is going to do. Not only that, they are going to reach out to every single ally that is left in the universe. They are going to join forces with anybody willing to fight by their side. Because Superman, he plans on fighting back. That is what takes us to Sinestro, having Warworld traveling behind him, the Yellow Lantern Corps ready to lay down some hate. On his command, they target every unliving god on the planet, and they release the full force of their might. The only problem, this blast never actually hits the planet's surface. Sinestro wasn't the only one to hear this distress call. That's where we see a giant green shield. This shield brought up to protect the planet from Sinestro and his assault. The shield being generated by Sinestro's own daughter and Kyle Rayner. And while she asks Sinestro, "What are you doing?" he lets her know that is not what it seems. We are not in fact attacking the planet. We are wiping out the anti-life virus. But while they try to figure this out, while they argue amongst themselves, that is when the Kryptonian arrives. The unliving Supergirl, carrying a mother box in her hand that is corrupted with the anti-life virus, knocking Kyle Rayner directly out of the way. She has no intention of killing or turning him. She has her goal set on one location. That, of course, is Warworld. Because with the techno-organic virus attached to it, it begins to infect it. The largest, most destructive computer in the whole galaxy. The anti-life virus now has control of Warworld, and it immediately starts attacking the entirety of the Yellow Lantern Corps. Sinestro trying to warn the Green Lanterns that Darkseid is coming. This is when we see Darkseid making his way to the battlefield. Sinestro letting it be known that they cannot hold back, that they have to destroy Darkseid right here, right now. The unliving Darkseid, he unleashes his Omega Beams. The Omega Beams versus the fear and willpower of father and daughter. But this equilibrium had been broken because Supergirl, she flies in and she breaks the connection between Omega Beam and the rings. With this break, this is where we see Darkseid holding on to Sinestro, telling his daughter to run, to live. With tears in her eyes, she watches as Darkseid takes the head of Sinestro and rips it from his body. Kyle Rayner recognizing that they have to leave and they need to do it now. He grabs hold of her and they take off across the galaxy. And with Sinestro now being dead, his ring falls from his hand. It goes seeking for a replacement, but it doesn't have to look far, because a being with the ability to instill great fear just decapitated Sinestro. Grabbing hold of the ring, we see the unliving Darkseid become a Yellow Lantern. With Supergirl by his side, the universe is doomed. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This is probably hands down my favorite issue of DC so far. Now, there have been a lot of good ones. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because Kyle Rayner definitely getting some shine here, more than any other comic currently coming out from DC Comics. You know, he is hinted here and there. They may show an image of him with Dark Crisis, but we actually get to see him put in some work, even if he gets his butt kicked by Supergirl. One thing I did not expect from this was freaking Darkseid to become a Yellow Lantern, but it makes sense. The universe, they are all terrified of Darkseid right now. I would go on to say that there is no one in the universe right now that is more terrifying than Darkseid, because not only is he freaking Darkseid, he is a zombie Darkseid. The anti-life virus has taken over everything from Warworld to Supergirl to Darkseid, and it is going to take every single soul that is still surviving to be able to hold off the gods. Tom Taylor continues to just knock it out of the freaking park. His run of DCeased has easily been one of the best stories to come from DC Comics in the last couple of years. I would say DCeased and Dark Knights of Steel are probably my top two DC Comics currently ongoing. And with the next issue being The Fall of Planets, we can only assume that more devastation is on the way. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything that has been happening with DCeased, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on the entirety of this event. Now, if you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges all the way to sending free comics every month from me directly to you. Not only do you get tons of perks, but it also helps out the channel tremendously. Now, if you can't do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.